Hi everyone, welcome to Lizzie Stamps. I'm Beth Castellini, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I wanted to show you how to make this beautiful card just using a background stamp. I really like using background stamps because there is a lot that you can do with them. All right, so we're going to get started with the Fragrant Forest stamp set. This is a background stamp. As you can see, it's a red rubber and it is a big stamp. When you're using big stamps like this, I like to put the ink on and then lay the paper over it. So we're going to get started and we're going to be using Crumb Cake today. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and all I'm going to do is stamp the pad all over. To get this effect, we're going to be using markers and doing a technique called thumping. So here are the colors I've chosen. I have Cherry Cobbler, I have Cajun Craze, I have Gorgeous Grape. Don't freak out. This is a beautiful color to add to the trees. And then I have Old Olive. So our Stampin' Write markers are nice. They have a fine tip line here and a broad tip line here so you know which side to open. I just want to show you, these are new, our broad tip, and they're really nice. They give a really nice writing feel. The other design, they tended to dry out, so this is much better. We're going to be using the brush side today, okay? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to thump. This is a great way to get some aggression out. And I can turn it however I want until you're satisfied with that. I think that looks good. The next one we're going to use is we're going to use Cajun Craze. You got to be thinking, she must be crazy because this is a really weird way to be adding ink to a stamp. But this is so much fun to do. I have to say, I watched Rhonda Wade's post about this last week, and if you follow her, so some of you might have seen this. If not, she's really great at teaching different techniques. And then the last one, I'm going to do Old Olive. Okay. I think I'm happy with that. All right. So since it's been a while since we put the Crumb Cake on, I'm going to go ahead and do our special technique. It's called huffing. It's so big, I decided to do it 3 times. Why do you want to do that? It's because it helps re-moisten the ink. Then the next thing you're going to do is I have a piece of 3.5 by 4 3/4 piece of basic white. And here I go. I'm just going to lay this on top. I'm going to put it right there. I've got a scrap piece of paper that I'm going to just put over it. And then I'm just going to use my fingers to rub. Or I have this other special tool. I call it the hockey puck. You know, when you play that air hockey game. You can get these on Amazon, and these are wonderful because then you really get the pressure. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. And here you go. That is so pretty. I love the colors. You could have added more colors if you wanted to, but it just gives a little touch of the leaves that are changing color. These are pine trees, but you get the idea. I think that's really pretty. We're going to use the emboss cut machine that we have. So we're going to be using the Timber 3D embossing folder. So when I'm using this with my machine, I'm going to use my number 1 plate and my number 4 plate. So all we're going to do is put in our embossing folder. I always make sure the Stampin' Up! Logo is on the top. And I always start with putting it in by the spine. Another little fact is why is this line right here is so you can help line it up, and you do not want to go, there we go, sorry, the line right here, you don't want to go below that line. So I've got the logo up, I have the name of the folder, Timber 3D embossing folder. I'm going to lay it down and run it through. Okay. So now we are ready. I'm going to go ahead and put this away. So let's open it up and let's see what we got. Look at that. You can see that the Timber embossing folder did a really nice job giving it a little bit more of a 3D effect with the trees. It's really pretty. So then I have a piece of 5 by 3 3/4 piece of cherry cobbler. And I'm going ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down. And you'll notice just how just putting a colored cardstock behind your stamped image just pops it even more. I really like that effect. Okay, so with the card, we have right here, you're in my heart and prayers. I wanted to do a sympathy card, and we're going to use this So Sincere stamp set that's in the mini catalog. And when you see this symbol down here, the $1 million symbol, that means one of our demonstrators who has earned $1 million, and this one is Sandy Hancock, and she was able to go to Stampin' Up! And help design this. The sayings are beautiful. I love the script she used. I love the typeset. This is a all-around for the year stamp set with just really nice sentiments in it. So we're going to be using this one today. So I'm going to get my piece of scrap. And here we go. And then I'm going to be using cherry cobbler. And I'm going to just stamp. And it doesn't matter because we're going to be punching this out. So I'm just going to stick it right in the center. That one's a little too light. Let's try it again. Better. Okay. Put that away. And then we're going to be using the double oval punch. What's nice about this punch is you have an oval right here that you can stamp out a sentiment, and then you have this scalloped oval that you can use as a background. But we're going to be actually using this, and I'm going to show you a fun way how to enhance the sentiment on your card. So I'm going to go ahead and I always stamp from upside down. I'm just going to lay it in there. I think that's good. And punch it out. Okay. And what's nice about our punches is that you can store them. They can stand here. But I've got shelving that I put all of my punches in. Easily accessible. Okay. So how did I get the color around the oval, scalloped oval? I'm going to show you. Using the brush tip, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just color around the edges. There you go. And now, when you put it on your card, it'll stand out even more. Just a little tip. You could also use your stamp pad as well if you wanted to. But we're just going to, we did the pen, and I really like that. And I did it with the Cajun Craze. Okay, so now we're ready to put our card together. I have a piece of 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2 of Crumb Cake. Then I'm going to go ahead and make sure it lays flat. We have these bone folders, which are great. So when you do score, I always score with the mountain on the inside. It tends to lay flat. So there you go. All right. So this ribbon, this is our, it's a lattice. It's like a linen thread, but it's really nice. But what I'm going to do is, it's pretty stiff, and I want to make it less stiff. So I can open it up here, and I'm going to just pull one of the pieces out. There you go. But I'd like it a little bit more pliable. So again, I'm going to go and pull out another, and you can use the extras for another card. We're going to pull it out. If it wants to come out, it's coming out. There you go. Okay, so now it's really pliable. I really like that. So I'm going to wrap it around the card, and I'm going to be tying a bow. Now, some people are a little intimidated by bows, but what's nice about it, this ribbon is forgiving, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and loop and make my tie, and then I can manipulate the ribbon to how I want it to look. There you go. Then the next thing I'm going to do is now put it on the back of the card front, which is our Crumb Cake. And here are Stampin' Dimensionals. They're two-sided, so it's great. You can lay them on, and I'm going to probably put 6 for good measure. And then I like to, when you are mailing your cards, you do want the cards to be able to lay flat in the envelope. So I like to add 2 in the middle just to give that extra security for the layer of the card. Now I'm ready to put this together. Here we go. Now it's secure, and you'll notice that the card pops up a little bit. It's also good that you use dimensionals, especially with this kind of ribbon, so it doesn't look bunched up. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take our saying right here, and because I want it to go over the ribbon, I'm going to put glue the dimensionals here and here. And what's nice about these dimensionals is because you use all of them. So I'm just going to cut right here and put one here and one up here. So then that when it goes over the ribbon, it'll stay. Here we go. Okay. I really like that. I always like to add bling to my cards. So we have the brushed metallic adhesive backed dots, and you could use any of these. So we have a brushed gold, a brushed copper, and this is almost like a brushed Old Olive. So on this card, I used the brushed Old Olive or brass. It sort of looks brass, but I think this time I want to use the brushed copper. So I'm going to go ahead and these do have glue dots on the back of them, so you can easily pick up with your scissors or your take a pick tool. And I'm going to use this one. Here we go. And we're going to put it right here. Okay, there you go. I really like how that's coming together. What's nice about my embellishments is I cut the sides, so they're for easy storage back into the sleeve. And you just slide it in. Okay, so then the sentiment that we're going to use next comes from Hope You Know. And this is in the annual catalog. And we're going to be using this sentiment. May you find peace in the days to come and in the loving thoughts that surround you now. And I'm going to still use my cherry cobbler to stamp the inside. And I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle. Okay, all set. So, then we're going to go ahead and use Tombow glue. I like to use Tombow glue. I find it forgiving because if you put a piece on that's crooked, you still have time to move it. And then we're going to go ahead. And this is a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic white for the inside. Isn't that great? I really, really love that. You could play with it and do different backgrounds if you wanted to, but I think I really like the Crumb Cake because then the layer piece that you have on makes the card stand out even more. I hope you enjoyed these cards, and if you'd like to follow me on at Lizzie Stamps on Instagram, and you can also follow me, there we go, at Lizzie Stamps Stamping Up, which is my Facebook page. I really hope you enjoyed today, and I hope to see you soon. Happy stamping.